You're listening to Exploring Anime with Friends, a JMO for Real podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and all major podcasting networks. I'm your host, JMO! And today's friend is my wife and co-host. How's it going today, Sarah?
Hi, everyone. It's going great today.
Awesome. Are you excited for today's installment of Exploring Anime with Friends?
I am very excited for today's installment.
Awesome. Today we will be exploring the world of Apothecary Diaries, a mystery drama set in feudal Japan, released in October of 2023 with romance sub-themes. First, we'll be diving into our very complex and amusing main character, Mao Mao. Afterwards, we will meet another very important character to the series, Jinshi. Then we will be going to Mao Mao's first stay in the Rear Palace as a lady-in-waiting. And finally, we'll be exploring the dynamic of Mao Mao and Jinshi as she serves in his house. And remember, if you like what you hear today, check us out on social media. Like, subscribe, and follow. Okay, Mao Mao. I'm telling you guys right now, we're going to be a while on this one. I don't think we've covered a more complex main protagonist on this show yet to this point in time, right?
I agree with that.
And I can't think of too many anime protagonists that are as complex of a character as Mao Mao is. Can you think of any? It's very difficult.
I can't think of anything on the spot.
So I'm thinking where to even begin, and then I realized I don't have to begin. I can just toss it over to you.
Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. Talk to us a little bit about Mao Mao. You don't have to go into everything. What is the thing about her that stands out the most to you?
I mean, I'll start with, and this really doesn't have a whole lot to do with the series as a whole. She doesn't laugh or smile all that much. She's a serious character.
Stoic.
Right? That's a good word. I like stoic is the word there. Which honestly throws me off because usually the main female lead is this bubbly, happy person. But I absolutely love her. She's so great.
She's the bully of the main character.
or she's the antagonist. Yes. She's very serious. She's just incredibly perceptive on what's going on around her and how things equate to each other.
Yet also very careful of what to say as far as her conjecture goes, because she realizes just because it's what she perceives, it doesn't necessarily mean that's what it is.
Yeah.
And even if she is fully sold and she fully knows that she's right, she doesn't like leading people into a spot where it can be inferred back on her.
Well, yeah, because if there's an inkling of a chance that she's wrong, then back then you were done. She'd lose her head.
Yeah. It would be over in a moment. Another important thing to let you guys know, Mao Mao is 17 years old. She is a gifted apothecary who studied behind a man who we thought was her father for a very long time. Turns out that he is related to her somehow, but he's not her actual father. That's a very main plot point of the second part of the first season of Apothecary Diaries. But she is a gifted apothecary. She's skilled with detective work. She is skilled with potions and medicines, and especially poisons. Talk to us a little about Mao Mao's
relationship.
I was looking for a different word, but that's the word. But her relationship with poisons.
I don't know if there's a special word for it, but she's basically a masochist when it comes to poisons. She wants to know what it feels like, what it tastes like.
That's what I was looking for, her masochistic relationship.
It's so Mao Mao. She gets excited for things, and it's so funny watching because that's the only time where you actually see her smile and give this mischievous chuckle is when she thinks that she's gonna get a poisonous thing. It's so funny.
Or when she's just exposed to a new ingredient that she doesn't get a chance to work with because it's in a different part of the world,
or expensive.
She's gotten a chance to work with a lot of different things, but she hasn't gotten a chance to work with everything. And when she is offered one of these new ingredients, she becomes so starry-eyed.
Oh, it's so funny.
A rare ingredient, something hasn't worked with that often. She throws the stoicism out of the window and just becomes completely enamored by it. The thing that stands out the most about Mao Mao is how perceptive she is.
Yes.
She is a little mini Sherlock Holmes.
She really is.
Talk to us about some of Mao Mao's top perceptive moments through the series.
I mean, it's exactly like you said. Like, she just, like, walks into a room and she knows what's happened. And if she doesn't know what's happened, like, within the first few seconds, she pieces it together so beautifully.
Well, she links details together so well. Like, one of the things that really stands out in the second half of the season after she's been bought out by Master Jinshi, she's able to take 3 separate events that happened, were seemingly coincidences, and linked them together just because a new piece of data emerged. And it goes from being 3 coincidences to an outright conspiracy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's able to connect the dots so skillfully. She knows that there's an answer to everything. And she's not afraid to ask the hard question, to dig into the dirty history, to look around and just figure out what has happened. And then when she knows that she can prove it, she's not afraid to take action.
Yeah.
And if she knows she can't prove it, she cautiously manipulates somebody else.
Oh, no, it's beautiful, yeah.
To the right direction. She's not just a master detective, she's also a master manipulator when it comes to things like that. Isn't it beautiful the way she just leads that one soldier boy around?
She'll, like, just give an offhanded comment that makes the other person think, and then suddenly for them, something clicks. Just off of something seemingly, like, random she kind of said.
Yeah. And that is on display a lot in the first half of the season, which leads her to becoming a valuable asset to Master Jinshi. Talk to us a little about Master Jinshi.
Jinshi, he's a cool guy. There's a lot of mystery going on with Jinshi, who he is. And it's things that, like, really aren't answered yet, so I'm super excited for season 2 already. He's a eunuch. He's a very...
Alleged.
Alleged.
He is an
I
alleged
wasn't sure if
eunuch.
we wanted to jump into that. He's an alleged eunuch. And he's...
Well, I mean, pretty early on, you see things that make you question. Like, we were questioning right from, like, episode 5 or 6.
Yeah, I was actually questioning if I knew what a eunuch really was.
We went with the whole, do we understand what a eunuch is first? And we realized that it was like, oh, wow, I didn't realize a eunuch still had certain capabilities. So we wrote it off as that. But questions keep on piling up as the season goes on.
He's described as being incredibly beautiful, which... For anime, yes, he's absolutely gorgeous for an anime character. He rivals that of the girls, pretty much. Very beautiful, long, flowing hair. He's got the looks.
There's one point in time where it's brought to Malma's attention something, mysterious, and it's kind of like, all we know is it was a beautiful lady. And she's like, no, that doesn't rule out Master Jinshi.
Oh, no, it's hilarious, yeah. He's got a serious personality, but he's got a little bit of, like, a playful side, too, sometimes.
I mean, what serious personality are you talking about? He commands respect and he commands authority, but he's constantly playful, isn't he? Like,
I mean, yes, but like when he's like at his desk, when he's trying to determine things, that's kind of what you. That's kind of what I meant. Like he has the moments where he needs to sit down and get the stuff done.
I concede to that. He is very what's the word? It's not really serious. We're looking for. He's very dedicated.
Yeah, okay, that works.
Very dedicated to his work. And he's not afraid to use the resources that are at his disposal.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And he realizes pretty early on that Mao Mao, who is a recent person who was brought to the palace to work as a servant, he quickly figures out that she is more than she appears to be. She can read and write, and that makes her a valuable asset. Puts 2 and 2 together because a warning happens to the emperor's concubines because their children were very sick, and one of the concubines was very sick, and Mao Mao figures out that it has to do with the powder.
Makeup powder, yeah.
The makeup powder that's being put on them, and she leaves little anonymous notes. And one of the times when she's leaving the scene to let them know what the problem is, Master Jinshi puts 2 and 2 together. So he's a very intelligent man himself, too. He is a little better at manipulating than Mao Mao, but he's not nearly as good of a detective as her. Is that a fair assessment there?
That is, yeah. I do want to point out he's still really perceptive with that scene. It's not common for random servant girls to know how to read and write. He's able to determine that it had to be a servant girl, so he brings them all in, and he just holds up a piece of paper, and he says, okay, whoever needs to leave can leave.
Says, you with the freckles, stay.
Does it?
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty much like, hey,
he references the freckles, which, by the way, we skipped over that completely in the Mao Mao portion.
The freckles.
Mao Mao, she does not like to make herself look appealing at all, to the point where when she does her makeup at the start of the day, it's to put freckles on her face because in her mind, the more homely and the less desirable she looks, the less likely of a chance that she gets kidnapped and sold somewhere, which happens because the one day she forgot to put the freckles on.
She had 'em.
She's walking back, men capture her and sell her to Rare Palace as a servant.
I've been pretty insulted by that whole thing as someone with freckles on their face. I'm pretty insulted by this one.
Honestly, your freckles are absolutely beautiful like you. So I'm not somebody who thinks that freckles makes a person ugly, but
Back then it was a thing. It was probably along the lines of, oh, their skin's blemished or something like that.
Yeah, I have no clue. But I'm sure there's a lot of historical research that went into this. I don't know the feudal pre-samurai era of Japan that well as a whole.
That's fair.
But I can tell that everything is very intelligently written by the way that Mao Mao and Jinshi both react in various different scenes. And I assume that it's intelligently researched too. Which, if you know that it isn't, then post it in the show notes. It's kind of like maybe there are historical inaccuracies in Apothecary Diaries. I would love to hear more if you have any random trivia on this matter. I'm looking at you, Rusty, because I know you know stuff like this. So, and remember, if you like what you're hearing today, check us out on social media, like, subscribe, and follow, interact with us about anything. And you can watch Apothecary Diaries on multiple streaming platforms, including Crunchyroll and Netflix. All right, a little bit about her first stay at the palace. Obviously, Master Jinshi identifies her as the one who leaves the note, and he seeks her out. So after Master Jinshi reveals that he knows that she's intelligent and everything, he introduces her to concubine Gyoko, and she immediately takes to Mao Mao, and she's like, you saved the life of my baby.
Yeah.
I want you to become my lady-in-waiting and serve me in the Rare Palace.
Ooh.
Talk to us a little bit about concubine Gyoko and the relationship that she forms with Mao Mao.
I mean, of the concubines, she's probably my favorite. There's not much debating that.
There's 4 of them total for the record.
There's 4. Like, I've read stories where concubines have been a big part of it, and there's always the chance that you're stuck with, as a lady in waiting, you're stuck with the worst person that is throwing fits and throwing things at you because you're not doing your job well enough to make them look good and make them be good. But she's not like that at all. She has a good, solid relationship with her ladies in waiting. They're all hand-picked,
all very trustworthy to her.
They're all friendly, because that's another thing that I've read in stories like this where there's ladies in waiting that there's like someone is always fighting with someone else about who's, oh, that's my job, I'm supposed to do that. No, I'm supposed to do that. Like,
yeah, we were waiting for the cat fight. I was waiting for them to be catty.
Yeah, I was waiting for them to be like passive aggressive, but no, all the ladies in waiting for her are genuinely nice to Mao Mao and genuinely seem to be good people, all wanting just to be their best, which was great.
Yeah, absolutely. And they also feel a little, saddened for her or a little nervous for her because, as Mao Mao quickly learns, she is the new taste tester. So she's the one that
they were so
is getting
sad
all the
for
poisons and everything. If there's an attempt made on concubine Gyoko, Mao Mao, when she finds that out, she's like,
oh, she got so excited.
Like a little kid in a candy shop. Oh, my goodness.
Funny.
She's like, there's a chance I get to taste poison? So, because she has plenty of experience. Like, she's experimented on her arms with snake venom before. Like, she is...
Like, her arms for the whole thing are, like, wrapped because of something like that.
She's a masochist when it comes to experimenting with poisons. So, when she finds that out, she serves diligently. She knows all the signs. She knows how to identify it by sight, by smell, and by taste. And she knows what to do if she does identify it by taste. She knows how to clear it out very quickly and save herself. So she becomes a very invaluable asset. And as she is making Lady Gyokyo shine, there is a little bit of a rivalry forming with Lady Li Hua, another concubine, the one who didn't listen to Mao Mao's advice and who lost the future prince as a result of it.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the whole thing, Mao Mao's interactions with Lady Li Hua, how it began, and how it turned out.
It was sad, first things first, because Mao Mao left a note for both of the concubines saying, don't use the makeup, it's the makeup. And the emperor himself gets Mao Mao to go to Lady Li Hua because she's practically on her deathbed. She's very ill.
Yeah.
She's very sick. I mean, I don't know how long it's been since the baby passed, but it's not been all that long. And as
She
Mao
lost
Mao,
all the will to live after that.
I mean, understandably, like losing a child's rough, definitely. But Mao Mao comes onto the scene. She sees what's going on. She sees the fact, like, she's barely eating, she's barely drinking, and the first thing that Mao Mao really notices is that darn makeup is still accessible, still available, still being used to keep her beautiful skin so pristine, is poisoning her still, and she just goes off on one of the ladies in waiting.
Oh yeah, it is not good.
Probably the maddest you see Mao Mao, to be honest.
Yeah, no, she slaps her, she puts her down, and she doesn't care what the consequences are. She's like, you are poisoning her. You are trying to kill your lady.
Yeah.
And Mao Mao is fully enraged because up to this point in time, those ladies in waiting have been very catty to her. They've been leaving her out.
Oh my gosh.
They've been insisting on trying to feed the...
like a lavish meal as opposed to
Yeah.
like she's sick. The lady's literally dying. You don't give someone who's dying hard meat and like solid foods.
And after her face is wiped off and everything, Mao Mao takes complete control, backed up by Master Jinshi. And she's like, this is the way it's going to be. I'm going to try to save her life because you guys have basically tried to do nothing but kill her with your ignorance. And sure enough, she is actually able to bring back Lady Liwa and restore her to full health. And as a result of it, she is very thankful. We're building up to an event where all the concubines get together with the emperor, and there's a big palace party and festivities. And Mao Mao is going to be going with Lady Gyokyo as her lady in waiting. And one of the things that she learns about this party as it's going along is that if somebody gives you a hairpin,
oh yes,
that means that that person is giving you the ability to seek them out, to get out of the rear palace on an excursion. How does this event lead off?
Oh, it's beautiful. So the ladies in waiting all are like really excited because they got a pretty up Mao Mao too. Because you can't have an ugly looking lady in waiting. You got to get your makeup on. You got to get your hair done.
And they're so excited.
They are so excited. I love these ladies, by the way. They're the ones you want with you. They're your friends. And as they're like finishing up, Master Jinshi just appears out of nowhere and literally just puts one of his hairpins in her hair and just leaves it there pretty much. Like all smooth too.
And they're all like, oh! Yes. So excited for her. And as the day goes on, Lady Liwa gives one to her. Yeah. And another soldier gives one to her. I think she collects 4 or 6 by the end of the day. 4 of which she can do something with.
Yeah.
So she makes a really big impression. And the biggest impression she makes at it is during the taste testing, poison comes across.
Dun dun dun.
Initial thought is somebody's trying to poison Lady Gyokyo, but it turns out she puts the pieces together and she's like, that was never intended for my lady. That was intended for Lady Lishu. And you uncover a whole conspiracy, and that really just kind of drives home the rest of the first part of the season. And I'm not going to spoil that too much because it's one of those weird things. Like this season's almost like 2 different seasons.
It was kind of cool
stacked back to back.
Yeah.
And the first part of the first season ends with, sadly, Mao Mao being expelled from the rear palace. Master Jinshi thought he was doing her a favor by letting her go. Mm-hmm. But Mao Mao actually wanted to stay at that point in time because, well, as you find out, she's also associated with the Verdigris house. And she just more or less becomes an apothecary for a brothel.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's the difference between the Verdigris house and the rear palace is just basically more wealth and less sickness around. So at the beginning of the second part of the season, Master Jinshi goes and he buys her out.
Yay.
To serve in his house.
I just want to point out he was desolate without her. He's got it bad. He wants Mao Mao around. And he's not willing to admit it.
Oh, and he's not willing to admit it to her, but it's pretty obvious to anyone observing.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, it's pretty obvious to Mao Mao, too, but she's like, I don't understand how that would even work because he's a eunuch.
Yeah.
And which leads her to start questioning, is he really? And leads us all to start questioning.
We all questioned it.
We start to learn more in the second half of the first season about the histories of Jinshi and Mao Mao. You quickly learn there are a lot of secrets with Master Jinshi. And there is a connection to potentially a royal birthright with him. And that's one of the central focuses that doesn't get answered by the end of the first season. But that's something that is very thematic throughout it. And Mau Mau doesn't fully know, but is starting to lean towards something being up. But the biggest mystery of the second part of the season involves a strategist by the name of Locken. Tell us a little about the military commander, Locken.
I mean, for a bit there, he's very sus. Bro's
got. He's pretty sus.
Yeah, you're right. Bro's got a monocle, and he's talking with Jinshi, and Jinshi's always on edge when Locken's around.
Yeah,
always. So I'm like, what is with this guy? And yeah, he's a military strategist. He comes from a decent family.
Oh, we're not going to spoil too much, but
Okay.
he has a great interest in Mau Mau.
He does.
And Jinshi knows he's trying to play a game with him, and he knows he can't outthink this guy whatsoever. No one can outthink this guy whatsoever. This guy clearly has an agenda that involves Mau Mau, and Jinshi has feelings for Mau Mau, and he's kind of like, is this guy trying to take her from me? What is he trying to do? And I think we're going to leave you with that, because there is so much intrigue, and that is something that does get answered by the end of the first season.
Yeah, no, thank goodness.
You learn their history because Mau Mau knows who he is. Mau Mau has a history with him. And the looks on Mau Mau's face, you can tell she despises him. The final thing that I want to point out in the second half of the season is Mau Mau is able to take a lot of different things that happened in the first part of the first season, and she's able to put them together to realize there is a major conspiracy going on. There is someone very important being targeted for an assassination. And all these different things come together. There was an explosion in one of the warehouses that led to a ceremonial set of armor being stolen from another warehouse. And that is somehow connected to a man who was poisoned and was killed with overexposure to salt. And she just weaves it all perfectly together to realize that there is a defect in a ceremonial place that has been set up to assassinate an important member of the palace. Talk to us a little bit about how all that weaves together, Sarah.
Oh my goodness. It was actually really crazy. As it was happening, even just like watching it as just the viewer, not in the story at all, it seemed like everything was just isolated events. I was tricked by that, definitely. It just seemed like this explosion thing happened. Okay. That led to this thing happening. Okay. The fact that she caught it all, that was just crazy.
And again, we're not going to tell you how that concludes either, but there's so many different things woven in and out. I love how all these little mysteries, how all these drama points, how the subtleness of the romance plot are all just woven in and out of each other like a tapestry. There are so many moving parts that are literally all connected without you realizing it for episodes at a time. So the storytelling is absolutely brilliant.
Oh, it really just is.
Very intelligent and just very captivating. The character Mau Mau is a absolute great anime character. The artwork and the background is just very beautiful, very colorful. It's a perfect blend of realism and beauty.
Yeah.
Apothecary Diaries will probably land in my top 10 greatest anime of all time.
Yeah, it's up there pretty high for me too. I mean, absolutely. It's got a little bit of everything. I need my ship to sail in season 2. I need my ship to sail. I can dream. The series is so well put together. If you like mysteries, you're gonna like this, definitely. She goes through and she handles a couple small-time mysteries, and it's just so good. Don't sleep on this one, guys. Do not sleep on this one.
So once again, we met Mau Mau and Jinshi, and both their unique personalities and their unique relationship. We went into some of how Mau Mau served as a lady-in-waiting, and then how she served in Master Jinshi's house. I hope you had as much fun exploring the first season of Apothecary Diaries as we did, and consider watching this anime. So if you like what you heard today, make sure you listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you stream your podcast. Listen to all of our J-Mill for Real podcasts, and hit us up on social media, like, subscribe, and follow. Once again, this was Exploring Anime with Friends. Let's explore together. And now for a word from our sponsors. Binbuster. Live from YouTube, it's Tuesday night, the call sign of the Binbuster YouTube channel. Once you hear this, you know you're about to embark on a journey through pop culture, movies, comics, and more. Buckle up and enjoy the ride every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. EST. Poppin' Cinema with Joe Mama and friends. Showcasing the power of cinema, join Joe Mama as he introduces different friends each week to a movie they have not seen before, popping their cinematic cherry as they talk about the movie they just watched every Tuesday at midnight.